If you can believe it, you can receive it. If you can conceive it, you can attain it. The most powerful tool that you have right now in your life, in your body, is your mind. That's why the enemy fights you in your mind. He fights you in your mind. For as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The devil doesn't have to tie you up for you to be bound. He just has to tie up your head with stress, with worry, with aggravation, with low self-esteem, with pettiness, with anger, with hostility, with rebellion. And he can make you physically sick because your mind is sick. You just have to get your mind out of trouble. Lay your hands on your head and say, give me a new mind. Give me a new mind means give me a new perspective. Give me a new perspective. Give me a new way of looking at my situation. Give me a new way of looking at my circumstances. Get my mind ready for this year, because when I get this year, there's going to be blessings. There's going to be miracles. There's going to be opportunities. Oh yes, it's going to be some struggles. It's going to be some challenges. It's going to be some tests. But even the struggles are an opportunity for me to show off the victory if my mind can handle the change. If you can get your mind out, you can get your money out. You can get your family out. You can get your job out. You can get your career out. You can get your health out. You can get your prosperity out. If you can get your mind out, no devil in hell, no weapon formed against you, no enemy that hates you can stop you from being free. Grab yourself by the head and say, we're coming out of this.
World Cup 2022!
We're live, yeah.
We are live!
We're live! Right, that's good, mate. Because I'll tell you what, mate. See one thing that people get wrong about me, right? They think I love like interviews and
I know
getting myself out, mate. Honestly, one of my pet hates is interviews, mate. Like, see, when you grow up and you play footy and that, like, you're only bothered about playing football, having fun, like scoring goals. And then when you get older into like professional football now, you get hit with all these interviews, media, and it's like you didn't really get taught about that. You didn't get trained on that. So like, it's one thing that I actually didn't really like doing them, unless I like the actual person who's doing them. But I'm not a big fan of doing them, It's mad. I'm just like, I didn't think kind of before I speak, mate. I just say it.
Listen, don't you worry. I'm very grateful. And listen,
no, it's a pleasure, mate.
I want to say good morning, but what time is it there?
Bro, it is. I don't know. See the clock. It's about 8 p.m. here, mate.
Okay, so good evening. Good evening.
Bright and early, mate.
I
Freezing
know,
cold,
listen.
snowing, -5.
Yes. It's horrible. For me, mate, I'm a tropical person. Look at this. I'm tropical. I shouldn't be here. But listen, Mr. Cummings, thank you so much for doing this historical interview. I'm very grateful. First of all, how are you feeling? How's the body? How's the legs?
Nah, I feel good, mate. I feel $1,000,000, mate. I feel good. Obviously fresh off the plane from Qatar. I've been back just over a week now, maybe about a week. So nah, I feel good. Like it hit me. The jet lag hit me when I came back, big time, man. Like proper jet lag. It hit me. I felt like I came down with something. But we had to come back early and because we had a game yesterday. So we had a game. So when I came back, I was straight back into training, straight back into playing. And I wasn't feeling the best, like, but we got through it. I got through it. I managed to get myself a little goal as well, mate. So now I feel good. My legs are good, feeling good, mate. So
was it at least a big part? Is that your 4th goal this season?
What is that, mate?
Was that another goal for the season? I'm saying
a goal for the season, mate. Aye, so 4 goals so far.
7 games, 4 goals.
Mate.
I got the stats, Jason. I got the stats.
You've got the stats ready, mate.
Yeah, 7 games, 4 goals, mate. We're rolling.
Mate, men lie, women lie. Stats don't lie, Bobby.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying.
You always got to know your stats, mate. I got taught that when I was younger, mate. I was like, I can't remember who told me, man. An ex-player or something, he says to me, as a striker, you should always know your stats. Whenever I ask you, like, how many goals you've scored or how many assists, always know your stats, man. So good.
I like that. Where were you when you got told you were going to be in the squad for Australia?
So obviously there was a lot of hearsay. The squad was coming out. There was a lot of stuff on Twitter saying that I could be in there. I was checking my phone. Actually, it was just a low key message I got as well. I was expecting like fireworks, a big phone call display, but I got a message from a guy for the Socceroos, and it was basically like, congratulations, Jason, you're going to the World Cup 2022. When I opened that, mate, I just went off my nut, man. I was in bed. It was early doors, so I checked my phone. I was in bed, and I seen that, mate. I just jumped out of bed. I put on the old classic World Cup songs and that, the waving flag and that. I was on the balcony, mate. I was just going mental, mate. When I told my mum, mate, I started crying, mate. Like, I teared up, man. Like, proper, like, I think it was just so emotional as well, mate. It's just been a long journey for me, like, for where I've been. Football's a lot of ups and downs now. There's a lot of things that people didn't take into consideration, like you're not playing, injuries. There's a lot of things, mate. And I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot of ups and downs. So when I got told that I was going to the World Cup, mate, it was just surreal, mate. It was unbelievable, mate.
The Cum Dog is going to the World Cup, right? Now, we have a very good mutual friend, Andy Monroe, and obviously you can imagine he was proud as punch. And for me, my friend, I love your story. Honest to God, your story motivates me. It touches me because it doesn't matter how many downs you have. Talent, hard work will always rise to the top. Right? You roll with the punches and look at you now. Do you know what I mean? He who laughs, whatever Del Boy says. So, you've got the trackies on, you're kitted up, you touched down in Qatar. Honest to God, first thought. I better be playing.
Aye, get me on that pitch, mate. All right, what's the bonus? What's the bonus for playing over here? Nah, mate, the first thought, mate, like, I think that's when it proper set in the squad and I was gone. It was a wee bit like I was buzzing in that, mate, but it's like it didn't really set in that I'm actually going to Qatar and going to went to the complex, mate. This multi-million complex that we stayed in over there had everything, mate. Like the training pitches, the recoveries, like the rooms were a joke, like everything, and they had like big billboards, like our faces and that, like the Socceroos, Australia. They had like our names plastered everywhere, Jason Cummings, World Cup and that. And I think that's when it set. And I was like, wow, this is a big deal, like massive.
It's not quite the lake, is it?
Oh, it's not the busy bee, mate, but it's not the busy bee, mate.
See, we as fans, media, we just see you coming out of hotels and stuff, but like, talk me through the room. What was the room like? Was it like, have you arrived? Like, what was the room? Are we talking jacuzzis? What? Wet floors? What are we talking about here?
No, mate, it was a full works, mate. Like, it was, it's called Aspire, mate. It's just like a massive complex and it's just got everything there that you need, mate. Everything. So the rooms are like, it was the biggest bed I've ever slept in my life, man. It's like a triple king size bed, mate. Obviously, like the games room, the ping pong, the pool, FIFA, and that. Big, massive dining room. So we get our own chef as well when we're away. So any food you want, mate, like anything. And if the recovery, they've got this big recovery place as well, where it's got like the sauna, steam room, jacuzzis, swimming pool. It's got a basketball court. There's a hospital right there. So if you need surgery, actually the boiler when he went over with his knee, he was trying to obviously make the World Cup and get his knee fixed, but then he realised that it needed surgery. So the next day when he realised it was like needed proper surgery, he just went over the road and got surgery. Like they've got everything there. We didn't leave, mate. We didn't need to leave. It was quite high security though. It had security on every door, so no one was allowed in, no one was allowed out. It was just purely focused on the football, the World Cup. I think I seen my mum, my dad, and my missus were over there as well. I think I seen them like twice the whole time, like after the games and that. So we weren't allowed out of that, mate.
Some Scots that support you, okay. We just wanted to see you on the pitch. That was it. Get on the pitch. I don't even care if you score. My boy's made it. He's played in the World Cup. Anyone that makes any noise, don't talk to me. And if you do talk to me nicely. So you get on. Come on, hit me with it.
Nah, mate, I think you're spot on, mate. I I was thinking the same, you know, like going to the World Cup's amazing. It's class, mate. Being in the
Can you
squad and
believe
going there.
you've done that though? Like
I know, but actually playing at the World Cup something different. You know, it's something that I can milk for the rest of my life, mate. You know what I mean? I'm going to be 8 years old in the lake, mate, telling everyone I played in the World Cup 2022. I played against France.
Jason Cummings,
But like to actually play is a different story, mate. So you know, as you say, it's one thing that you can't take away from it. You know, you can't take away from me that I done that. It's a proud moment, man. Like super proud, because it's, as you say, man, it's the World Cup. It doesn't get much bigger than that.
Did you think once you got a first touch, get a shot on, or was it just keep the ball? Safety Sam.
Oh, mate, just do the basics, man. Do the basics, yeah. When you've got that big, there's a big Canute, the back four, the France, huge, mate, and then you've got Rabiot, Griezmann, Mbappe on the wings and that. I'm looking around, I'm like, man, this is like FIFA, mate. It's like I've just went into a FIFA game. It's surreal, mate. To see these guys up close, mate, like Mbappe and that, mate, it's like, what is going on, man? I was playing against Andy Monroe last season, forfeit. This time last year, I was playing forfeit. And then I'm looking around and I'm playing against Mbappe. I'm like, this is unbelievable, mate.
So what you're saying, Andy Monroe set you up for the highest stage?
He set me up to fail, mate, because it was easy playing against him, mate. Every time I touched the ball, my Rabiot would just come in and take it off me. There's levels, mate. I don't know what I think that's what I realised as well, man. Like, you know, so fortunate to be there. But that France game, they were different level, mate. It's a different level, mate.
What, you know, obviously the French, you know, you're saying that they're levels and stuff. What was it like when they were on the ball? Like, was the movement? Obviously, we've watched it, but you're on the pitch, you know.
Mate, it's just every single player when you're up close, they've got everything. Like they look like they're stronger, they're bigger, they're faster, they're better looking.
Do they smell good?
They just look pristine, mate. You're like, what is going on, man? Like,
do they smell good?
They're like robots, man. And then when they're playing, they're just popping it. You know, like we were pressing a lot in that game. I was kind of playing. I didn't get many touches. I think I got 8 touches, mate. I think 2 of them were for kickoff, mate. So I didn't get many touches, mate. But I was there, mate. But every time I went to go press, like I go to press Rabiot. By the time I got to him, the ball was already Griezmann already had the ball, and he's whipped it out to Dembele, and you're just like, I need a paracetamol after this, mate. It was that fast. It was that fast, mate. But it was a pleasure to just be there, mate. To be a part of it, man. Like, I was confident. No, as I say, I was excited. I was confident. I was a little bit nervous, but I was more excited. You know, and I was a believer in myself as well. So, like, it's the same. I always say, you know, it's the same size of goals, mate. It's the same ball. You know what I mean? If a ball drops at me in the box, mate, it doesn't matter if it's Hugo Lloris, mate, or if it's Anthony Niemi, mate. I'm putting it in the back of the net, man.
I believe
if you put that in the corner, it's in the back of the net. So I always kind of believed that in myself, you know, so whatever, then I could take it. So you always had that self-belief, man. You've got to keep that, you know what I mean? That self-belief, because it's hard when you're looking around and all these guys are like miles better than you.
Self-belief. Now, I have a thing that in Scotland or Britain, if you talk like that, seem as arrogant, seem as cocky. And I used to always say this thing, you know, when you tell me I'm the best, it's a compliment because I'm not arrogant, I'm just confident. Right? That's what I used to say. You can steal those lines if you want, mate. I stole it from Jay-Z. You know, well, the point is that why is it that we praise other players for being confident? We praise foreigners for being confident. But I can't call you one of our own because obviously now you're Australian, right? But I'm saying when we have people in Scotland, why could we not say that we're the best? What's your thoughts on
that? I don't know, mate. I've probably experienced it with myself, mate, coming through the leagues in Scotland, you know, when I was younger at Hibs and that. You know, I was a confident, young, you know, slightly arrogant player who just didn't give a fuck, you know what I mean?
We praise people for that.
You know what I mean? That's what I mean. I was there and I was doing the interviews, I was having a good time, I was confident, just everything. I don't know what is in Scotland. It's like a jealousy thing, or if it's like they just didn't. I feel like people in Scotland, they didn't like to see people doing better than them, or doing well. So when you see someone like that, it's like, oh, shut up, mate. Look at this. He's got too much to say for himself or whatever. They never praise like their own player, their own people. You know, it's a weird mindset, man. It's a weird thing in Scotland that they've got, man. Even take away football, man. Like, see, even if you were just like, I don't know, a girl or something and start on YouTube or something, everyone in Scotland will just get on their back straight away. Oh, that's embarrassing. That's pathetic. What are they doing? Like, so whenever someone tries to do something for themselves, I don't know, people in Scotland just kind of bring them down. So it's a weird thing that Scotland people have got, man.
You need to celebrate your friends' wins, man.
No,
You know,
100%.
you need to push your friend on, because that little bit of support can change so many mindsets. And you can take this line as well. If we change their attitudes, we change their mindsets.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that.
You like that one? Right, anyway, back to the World Cup.
Who was that? Who was that?
That was me. That was me.
Is that your one?
That was me. You can have it, mate. You can co-sign it. So anyway, back to the World Cup.
Aye.
Australia make history. Never mind. What's the gaffer saying?
Mate, it's mad because, you know, even over here to an extent, and obviously all over the world, like Socceroos, the Australian team, like we got wrote off like for the start. Like no one believed in us like at all that we'd do anything. Like we're going to go there, get bombed out straight away. You know, and to be fair, it's a good group of boys, man. Like we might not have like the world class players that France, Argentina have got, but we've got that. We've got that more like family, close knitted, like die for each other attitude on the pitch, where it's like more like a proper team instead of individuals. You know what I mean? So we believed in ourselves that we were capable of like get out of the group and do well. And you know, to credit to the boys, you know, the staff and all that, you know, we did, man. Like we 2 wins we got in the group stage, Denmark and Tunisia, 2 clean sheets. You know, to get into the last 16, and then you know to get put out 2-1 by Argentina.
It's not embarrassment, is it?
It's not bad, mate. It's not bad, mate. It is. It's historical, and you know what? We've inspired a generation over here, Australia, because Australia football is not as big as what it's like back home, mate. Like in the UK or even in Europe, man. Like football over here is probably like the third most watched sport. You know, they've got rugby league, they've got AFL. Yeah. So see football here. It doesn't get much hype as what it does back home. Like there's not that many people that come to the games. No one's that interested. So for us to do that, you should see some of the videos back in like Melbourne and Sydney back home when we got through the last 16. The place was going off its chops. There's flares, everything. Like so what we've done is like as a team is just inspired like a whole country, you know, to get behind football, which is class, man.
So you've raised the profile for football in Australia. That's historical, man. You should be proud. You should be proud, man.
Try my best, man.
You're part of history, bro. Come on, man. Enjoy it. Embrace it. You know, like it's taken Messi and friends to put Australia out, bro.
That's what I mean, mate.
I repeat
Lionel Messi, mate.
So
live in the flesh, the main man, the best player in the world. Like honestly,
what was that like? Did they ask for your shirt?
You wanted the cum dog piece. He wanted to get that framed, didn't he? Nah, I was on the bench, innit? So I was I was just staring at him, watching him, like just like a fan. I was just looking at him, and he came over to the side, and he was kind of like head to head with one of the boys, and I was right there, mate. So I went over to give him handers, and I went to split up Messi, and I pushed Messi away, and I thought, man, I can't do that. I can't do that to Messi, mate. I'm like, mate, I just went away. I was just like, you know what, Messi, do what you want, mate. 2 seconds later, I think he scored 2 seconds later, and then just to see the whole crowd and that everyone's like, Messi. It was just a 1,000th game, mate. So like, even that's historical as well, mate. But just to see him was weird, mate. It's like a dream, man. Because you watch him growing up and you see all his Barcelona and everything he's done, mate. Like all the goals he scored and that. And you see him and he like shake his hand, give him a cuddle and that, man. I was like a little boy, mate.
Did you when you cuddled him? Did you smell him? Did you have a little whiff?
Oh, I was smelling him. I think he wanted to go. I was like holding him like Buddy the Elf, mate. I was like, come here. But the thing is, mate, I didn't actually ask him for his shirt, mate. At the time, I didn't ask him, mate. I just said to him, I was like a little boy, man. I was like, "You're the greatest player ever, Messi, mate." I was like, "You're the man, mate." That's what I said. I went, "How are you so good at football, mate?" And he just looked at me and he's like, smiled and that. And then I just says, mate, all the best, my man. Win the World Cup. Bring it home. It's coming home. And then that was it, mate. That was it. I didn't actually ask for his jersey. You know what? It's a weird one because I never played that game, so it was like I felt bad, like coming off the bench, no playing, just going straight to Messi and asking for his shirt. You know what I mean? I was like,
No, I know what you're saying.
we just got put out as well. So it was obviously I was a wee bit, I was upset over that, and all the boys were like upset and that. So I didn't actually ask for his shirt, man, but I wish I did, mate, because I'd have settled that for about £1 million. Not a problem.
I know, mate. I know. So,
but
we're going for it's a bittersweet moment for you, isn't it? You know, so unfortunately you couldn't get on, and then you're out, and but obviously Messi, your idol, you've made history. So do you know against Argentina that is your final? Do you know you've broke the mold? You've basically proved a whole country and a few continents wrong, and obviously you're in the changing room. Listen, Martinez doesn't make that block. We're talking extra time, bro.
Mate, you know? That's how close it is, mate. As I say, mate, that's how well we done, man. Like, the last 16 against Argentina could have took them to extra time, man. Like, we had a few chances to make it 2-2.
Yep.
Mate, just unbelievable, mate. Like, I think now that I've came back and I've been back here a week, you know, because when you're in the moment and the time and that, you kind of you didn't take it in as much.
You didn't digest it, yeah.
You didn't digest it. So, you know, coming back, man, we came back, we landed in Australia. There was like loads of people there, like screaming our names and that. And like you go on social media and you see everyone that was getting behind us, man. Like it was massive, mate. It was massive.
We're gonna pause here, okay? We're gonna stop and we're gonna rewind, okay? Your time in Scotland, okay? Now, I've read about you, okay? I've seen you play. I saw the famous Hibs interview, tin of beans and all that stuff. And I actually thought when I saw that, I thought I'm gonna watch this guy because I like him. We've got a bit of character, a bit of what's the word? A bit of suave, you know what I mean? A little bit of this, and I thought let's see. And bro, honestly, I love it because you're being yourself. We're talking about interviews and stuff. You know, we can go for a little play. How did you feel the game went today? Well, you know, it was a great day for the game. The guys played well. We don't want to see that, okay? We want to see character, passion. I don't care if you give me a 3-second answer. I want you to be yourself. You've talked about you don't like doing interviews and stuff. Growing up in Scotland, how hard is it to make
it? It's tough, mate. It's tough. You know, everyone in Scotland, the majority of boys, you know, at school and that, everyone's got a ball. Everyone wants to be a football player, man. Like when they're younger, you know, all my mates growing up and that, my brothers, everyone, they want to be a football player, man. The majority, you know what I mean? So,
you know, yeah. Who's better, you or Dean?
Mate, I'll tell you what, mate. Dino, back in his prime, mate, he was better than me, mate, for sure, mate. And he's still a class player, man. He lives in Australia. He lives in Perth now. Obviously, he's been here 5 years, man. He plays in Perth, man. He still plays and he still strolls it, man. But Dino, when we were younger, Dino was always the better player than me, man. I was just kind of like a goal scorer, man. Dino was fit as a fiddle, mate. Get about the pitch, man. Dino was the main man, like, for sure.
So you just thought, mate, that's too much running. Just geese the ball.
Nah, I just done the easy thing, man. Putting the ball in the back of the net, not a problem.
So talk me through it. Sorry, I cut you off. You said everyone in Scotland wants to be a football player. So when did it hit you that you actually had the chance?
As I say, I think you've just got to stick with it as well, mate. You know, because you know when you're younger, everyone's got that enthusiasm, that innocence, just like working hard, playing football, no distractions. I think the key moment as young lads and young players who want to be football players is that moment when they start getting other interests, distractions, girls, drinking, and like getting in trouble and stuff. You know that age where they get like 15, 17, like when you go through that age, and it's like you can go two ways. You know, you can still concentrate on football and give everything you've got to that, or you can go there and get steaming with your mates at the park every night or whatever. So I think that's a big part of a young person, like even for me, it was a big part of my career growing up. What way to go? Obviously, being brought up in Saughton, Maine, like it's not an easy place to be brought up, man. You know what I mean? You're walking down the street and some junkies throwing potatoes at you, and that, you know, like I've seen it all, mate.
Or
You've seen it
it's
all in
either
Saughton.
throwing you potatoes, asking if you want to come in a stare. Have a
Yeah, that's what you
conversation.
see it all, mate. It's tough, mate. But I think that's the key point is at that age, and then you get told you're not good enough. You know, for me, it was when I was, what age was that? I was 16, 17. I left school. You know, I wasn't really, you know, I was actually quite good at school, but I just couldn't be asked being good at school. You know what I mean? I'd rather muck about with my mates and have a laugh and
Yeah.
be a class clown and just be a nuisance. You know what I mean? So
Uh-huh.
I left school with like no grades or nothing really. So I was in trouble, man. So football was like, I need to be a football player or I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in McDonald's here. So,
Which, by the way, side note, it pays very well.
oh, mate, great pay.
Yeah.
McDonald's is the answer for, I think, when you leave school. McDonald's is definitely the best way to go, man. It's good pay, it's easy money, man. And you get free fucking Big Macs whenever you want. Not a
I'm
problem.
a big tasty man myself, mate. Big tasty
Are
man.
you?
We're trying to
Mate,
trim,
that's
mate.
the
We're
thing
trying
over
to
here in
trim.
Australia, mate. The McDonald's isn't the same as back home, man.
Is it not?
Nah, it's not the same. The chicken nuggets and that, they're not the same, mate. It's weird, mate.
It's
It's like, they use kangaroo instead of chicken over here, didn't they? For the chicken nuggets, it's kangaroo nuggets.
I don't know whether to believe you or not.
I'm joking, my man.
I'm like, okay.
Kangaroo nuggets, mate. Give me the 20 kangaroo piece.
They're
No,
punching.
but when I left school, mate, like I had none, so I was going to get a basic job or whatever. So I had to try and focus on the football, but I got a bad injury. I done my ACL, I done my meniscus twice. I was out for like a year and a half. That was when I was at Hearts, you know, and I kind of got back playing, and then, you know, Hearts basically told me like, oh, you've had these injuries and that you've came back and that, but like you're not up to speed, like you're not good enough in that at this moment. So we're going to have to let you go. So that was my dream, like shattered. I was like, always wanted to play with Hearts and like be a professional football player. I'm 17 now, like I need to go back to boys club. So I went back to Hutchie Vale Boys Club.
Good club. Good club.
Back to the Hutchie Vale, Tam Smith, Forge Road.
Tam Smith.
Class, mate. Class. That's
I tell you what, how that hut is still standing, I have no idea.
That hut should be one of the 7 wonders of the world, mate.
It's a landmark in Edinburgh, mate.
It's a landmark.
Forge Road.
Oh,
King Forge.
Hutchie Vale, man. Hutchie Vale's always got a place in my heart, man. Like what a club, man. Like what a team to play for. It's just like a family team when you're growing up, and that they bring through that many players and like they help you and that. Like especially when I went back that time when I was 17. When I went back and, you know, I had a season there at Hutchie Vale and I just enjoyed it so much, man. I love playing just with your mates. Like all the boys are just normal lads in that, mate. You have a laugh in training and that. You play Tynecastle the weekend, battered them 5-0. You go up to George Street, have a few babies. I just loving life, man. That was my life at the time. I was loving it, mate. Because I was loving it like that, I wasn't asked. I ended up realising like, fuck, I've actually still got this, man. That's when Hibs actually came to see me at a few of the Hutchie games, and then they offered me a contract. But at the time, I was working as a gardener for like about a year, landscape gardening.
Okay. So let's pause.
Picking out weeds and smoking weed at the same time.
Smoke weed anyway. So what's the conversation when Hibs approach you? Is it just a 6-month deal to the end of the season? What we're talking,
mate? When Hibs came in at that age, it was a deal like one of the youth deals for playing for like the under-20s. You know what I mean? So it's full time. What I wanted to do. So like full time under-20s. You know, you get paid a couple £100 a week or whatever, mate. Like no, there's no class money, but like you're full time as a football player. Like you're living the dream. Like full time. That's your job, isn't it? Like it's brilliant. And you know that's where I think I was there for like 3-4 months in the 20s, and then I broke into the first team after that, man. It just went for that.
Tenure at Hibs. How would you describe that?
My what, man?
Your time at Hibs. Sorry, I said tenure, but I forget. I've got to break it down for you. So your time at Hibs.
Oh, man, my time at Hibs, mate. Looking back, man, was like it was the best time in my career. You know, I'd say apart from now, I'm enjoying it that much now. But I'd say it was the time in my career where I enjoyed it the most, mate. Like, you know,
Why?
I would say just like the group of lads that we had at the time were different class, you know, just proper good lads having a laugh. And, you know, we had a good team at the time as well, especially when we had Stubbsy when he came in, you know, winning the Scottish Cup. I was playing every week. You know, I had that confidence and the belief, you know, that I was just playing every week, scoring goals in Edinburgh with my family, with my mates. You know, and the Hibs fans were different class from me in that as well. Like, you know, I loved me in that, and you know, I'd score like every other week. I'd score goals for fun, man. It was just a good time.
Your relationship with the media.
It's a sticky one, man. Like,
Sticky one still.
it's a sticky one.
Sticky one
I feel like Scottish media, you know, they can be poisonous, man. They can be, you know, like the amount of interviews that I've done or whatever, and they'll take one little thing that I say, they'll twist it, they'll make that the headline. Everyone underneath in the comments, oh, Cummings is a fucking idiot. Look what he's did. Look what he's saying. Look what he's done. Or whenever I do anything wrong, like anything, like even lately, mate, the Scottish media, they're still picking up. I lost my passport over here. I was in Bondi. I was out a few drinks and dinner, and I lost my passport in Bondi. And, you know, someone found it over here and they put it on Facebook, oh, whose passport that is. And everyone's like, oh, that's Cumdog's passport. And that's like, so anyway, I messaged her, I got it back, like, no big deal, lost my passport, found it, not a problem.
which is a good thing, right?
I look online, mate, on Twitter. I think it was like the Scottish Sun or some Scotland fucking paper.
Mm-hmm.
It was saying like, Jason Cummings up to his old antics again. Like, and I'm like,
do you think because you're so talented, you're an easy target?
I'd say so,
That's
mate.
not a
I'd
leading
say
question.
it's almost like what's the
Is that you showing off the tats? Yeah, what are you saying?
ain't gang. No, I'd say if they're writing stuff about you or whatever, then you're obviously doing something well as well. So you got to look at that positive. Like, they're not going to write stories and do interviews or whatever where players or people that aren't doing anything or doing well in football. That so you've got to look at that in a positive side of things. But I'll be honest as well, mate. Like, I've brought on myself to an extent, mate. Like, I'm not your normal player who just gets on with football and gets on with it. You know, I'm always out there. You know, I always be myself. You know, I'm a bit of a character. You know what I mean? There's no Batman without the Joker, Bobby. That's, you know what I mean, mate. Sometimes, and that's I think that just comes from me being from Saughton, not really thinking I was going to be a football player, and then bang, right into the. Everything, mate. And I just thought, man, I'm just going to lap this up, mate. I'm just going to milk everything. I'm just going to have a laugh, have a good time, be myself. And you know, like, you got to like it or lump it. But so I've brought a lot of things on myself, especially when I was younger. But
when you grew up in the places we grew up, Jason, you know, Saughton, West the Hill, it's like us is not supposed to come to surface, is it? Do you know what I mean?
No.
If you think about
exactly,
it, though,
mate. But
we're not supposed to. We're not supposed to be successful. We're not supposed to do well. We're not supposed to have the beautiful girlfriend, beautiful wife. We're not supposed to have the I would say lavish lifestyle, but a happy lifestyle. Be successful in what we're doing, or be happy in what we're doing. So when you take the boy out of the hood or the projects, whatever you want to call it, right? And we're doing what we love. How dare you tell me how to act or how to be?
No, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, mate. Exactly, mate. Because, you know, I wouldn't change it for the world, though, mate. Honestly, like, seeing being brought up in Saughton Mains, and you know, it's made me the man who I am today, mate. The best people who have been brought up in, you know, rough areas or, you know, tougher places to be brought up, they turn out to be the best people, mate. The soundest people, the most trustworthy people, like, that you can meet. So, and as you say, when you hear a story of someone actually coming out for you know, the schemes and you're making something good for themselves, you know, it's like you've got to get around that, man. Like,
so why do we not talk about that? This is my point that I make on Twitter with you, and I say to myself, why are we not celebrating this guy? Like,
Saughton Mains to the World Cup,
listen. My man went from the busy bee in the lake to drinking water at the highest level of
Oh, man.
football. So listen, this is just me, and I know I'm a part of a good crowd that supports you, and I hope when people watch this interview, they can see you as Jason Cummings, not Jason Cummings, the football player, or invert commas, the troublemaker, whatever. I want them to see you as Jason Cummings. Like, this is you. This is your personality. You're an easygoing guy that just loves to play football and have a good time. And I praise you for that, my friend. I do. Honest to God, I praise you for that. I need to ask you a question. You said you had a few ups and downs. Nottingham Forest. What was that like for you? Another big club, by the way. You know,
Huge club.
on the TV. Did you realise how big it was when you arrived?